Fogmask fluffed up his fur, sitting by the tall rock. His whiskers twitched as he waited for patrols. Gather for Sun High patrols, Mapleshine yelled, their voice rippling through the clearing. He pattered forward with Fogmask, sitting next to them. Greetings, he purred. She watched as her clanmates filter in. She felt a sense of nervousness wash over her, which was quickly snuffed out by the time she readied herself. Hi. He glanced over to Wildblaze briefly. He tapped his paws against the ground, staring upwards. Hey, so I was wondering how... Fogmask, I want you to lead a border patrol with Wildblaze and Rock Tumble. Cover as much ground as you can. Mapleshine murped, attempting to sound dignified. He glanced over. Well, that's that, I guess. He nodded to Rock Tumble. He shut his mouth, nodding at the deputy. Right, let's go. Rock Tumble shifted their paws, turning to look at Fogmask. I guess so. He glanced over. The rest of the patrols were going to take a while to organize. Let's get going, then. See you later, Flamesnout, she mewed before she left. He sniffed. He caught no scent of windclan, just water. Rock Tumble's tail twitched. Even far away as she was, she didn't trust herself near the river. They stepped away. He continued on past 4 trees. His nose wrinkled as he caught an odd scent. It wasn't from the barn, surprisingly. Some cat had walked through here. Kinda smelled like flowers. Rock Tumble squinted. Smells funny here, huh? You noticed it too? Yeah, but not like a rogue, just something. Kitty pet, maybe? But what would a kitty pet be doing here? Wildblaze didn't pay much mind to it, and instead peered over to the barn. Well, I hope it isn't some outsider straying across our land, she muttered. We don't need any of that in windclan. He nodded, continuing. Mapleshine? Oh, Fogmask. Back too soon? We didn't really find anything. New Leaf gives the other cats little reason to trespass, though we did find a weird scent. Something like flowers, maybe a kitty pet, but it might be nothing. Mapleshine nodded. I'll inform Echostar of such. Thank you. That's a bit concerning. He shrugged, but nodded anyway. Again, thank you for notifying me. Will that be all? Mm-hmm. Alright, you're dismissed. Wildblaze then flicked his tail, stepping away. See you later, Fogmask. Glad we got to patrol together today. The Tom grinned, moving towards the clearing. He blinked. Toadtail? Moonflight? He glanced. Is there anything I can fetch for either of you? I'm fine. The cat gave a small purr to Fogmask. He glanced at Fogmask. Miss Flight just grabbed me a rabbit. He'd pause. Nothing that I need. He shot a smile. That's good then. He dipped his head. He slipped down into a sit. He yawned, resting his head down. Ending the day with a patrol was always nice. It let you sleep well. The warm sun woke him. She walked over to the two, her ears a bit drippy from her sluggishness. Guard duty, she said curtly. Wildblaze lifted his head at the call, seeing Fogmask had already woken up. Okay, I'll be right there. Fogmask! Mm-hmm. He shuffled his paws, staring at the ground. Hey, so, I seem to have guard duty this morning, and I'm feeling pretty hungry. Wildblaze then looked up. Could you go catch me a rabbit? It always tastes better when you catch it. He thought for a moment, still waking up. Yeah, I don't see why not. His face brightened, twitching his whiskers. Yes! I mean, yeah, thank you, that would be great. He stammered before rushing off. He lingered for a moment longer before setting off. He lifted up the rabbit. Finding himself near the barn, he figured he'd check that weird scent again. He stiffened when he saw an unfamiliar cat.
With a skip in her step, she wandered to the grass. Where? Ugh.
He quickly put the rabbit in the bush, fur bristling as he turned back around. He darted, leaping and nailing her in the shoulder blades with both front paws.
She yelled, "Ow!"
He hissed, "You're in windclan territory!"
She tried to get up, but couldn't by the way. She whined, What's a windclan?"
He flinched. "It doesn't matter. You're on our territory. Leave now while you still have your pelt." He stepped off, not seeing her as a threat.
She got up with a gruff. She dusted off her pelt. "What do you mean, leave? I'm lost? Where else can I go?"
He stared at her. "Usually loners just ran back to the barn. Where did you come from? You don't smell like a loner."
"Why, of course I don't. I keep myself clean, not like you forest cats," she spat, unaware of the danger. "But since you smell like this whole place, do you know where I could go from here?" Her tone now calm.
He seemed to calm as her demeanor shifted. "Yeah, loner cats and rugs usually stay at the barn. There's 2 legs there that leave food, and why did he know all this?"
"Thank you." She shifted her mitts, sighing as she spoke. "So, that place right there?" She turned to the barn.
"The big 2-leg structure, yeah. Careful, though, the rogues can be rather feisty."
"Ah, after you attacking me." The rain started to wet her pelt. "Ugh, dumb rain making everything— Ah, my paw pads!" she whined.
He flinched at the squeaky complaints. "Go!"
"But you're— Ugh, I guess I'll see you later, smelly cat." She scurried to the barn for shelter.
He sighed. That rabbit was definitely soggy and cold. He lifted his head. "Hey." "Hi, Fogmask," she purred. His ears perked up, beaming despite the rain. "Fogmask, you're back!" he chirped. "Yeah," he panted. "Sorry that took so long. I caught a rabbit at the far side of the moor, but it quickly got cold and wet, so I got one closer to camp. I was struggling to catch things today, too. Seems like things are hiding around everywhere." Rocktumble groaned. "All that just to make sure my prey is warm?" His maw gaped open, before it settled into a bright smile. "Thank you so much, Fogmask," Bloodblaze purred. "How did guarding go?" he redirected. "It's going well. The deputy seems to have everyone busy today." He laughed. "I hope hunting wasn't too difficult. In the rain?" Rocktumber rolled their eyes, looking away. They were so bored of guarding. Nightmarish task for them. It was mostly just the rain weighing down the rabbit. "Well, it means a lot that you could help me out like that," he mumbled, grinning stupidly as he looked at his paws. He seemed to do that a lot when Fogmask was around. Rocktumble raised an eyebrow. "Yeah," he nodded. "Not a problem, really." He sat and ate the mouse. It was wet, but still edible. My mouse. It went through the map! After eating, he shook out his pelt. It was nearly dusk now. He wondered how that loner was doing. It wasn't his thing to worry about, though. He hopped up onto his nest, settling for an early sleep. It was dawn now. She slowly sat up. Well, almost dawn. He looked at the sky as the sun began to rise. Fogmask, good morning, he yawned, looking a little tired. Waiting for patrols? He hummed, straightening his whiskers. Well, I was hoping to catch you before patrols. Did you want to go hunt in the moors together? He finally felt his face was clean. That's pretty much a patrol anyway. Sure. Great! He jumped on his paws. Let's go! He rubbed against the tall stalks of lavender, purring. Do you like lavender? He tilted his head. I like nature, he added. New leaf is nice. It's a new start. And it smells nice. Good to know, the Tom said quietly, a soft smile on his face as he started walking again. He watched him hunt. He rubbed against the tall reeds. He lifted up the rabbit, purring. Check it out! Almost as good as the one I caught you, he teased, tail waving. Like I said yesterday, your rabbits are always the best. He blinked at him, whiskers twitching. He dropped it for a moment, laughing. Dear Starkland, this thing is heavy. I'll go drop this off at camp. It'll only slow your hunting down with me dragging this along behind you. Alright, he nodded. Good catch, though, really. I'll meet you back at camp when I get my own. He padded along, letting his nose guide him towards any prey.
She's digging at the burrow in front of her, trying to get the rabbit that hid under it. She muttered to herself, Get over here.
He squinted. Again? You're a bit far from the barn.
She jolted up, bumping into him in the process. Sorry, she yipped.
He stiffened a bit. Are you good?
Her fur puffed up and back down. She sat down, hitting her tail on the ground. No, actually, I'm trying to maintain my fur. It gets too dirty too easily, and my two legs aren't even competent anymore. Ugh. And above all, I'm hungry. She puffed out her cheeks, pouting. She slouched.
Your two legs? She was far from the two-leg place now. Did she think they'd come looking for her? Were you never taught to clean your own pelt?
It's not that. It's just my fur's too thick, and trying to do all of this alone isn't helping. She looked to the ground, pawing at it.
Okay, first, let's get you back to the barn. He looked over his shoulder hesitantly. Come on.
Okay.
He sighed deeply, picking up a paw and starting to part her fur. What's this you said about two legs?
She looked down at the ground. She felt helpless. My two leg left. I have no idea where they could have gone, but I can't just sit here. So I left, and yeah, she started to also clean her pelt.
He backed up so he could groom the hard-to-reach areas of her pelt. You willingly left the safety of a two-leg nest? That's hard to believe. He spoke between licks.
She paused and sat up. Well, there's no point in staying in that place, so the least I could do is just wander out here. But it's also very rough, she admitted.
Rough indeed, he continued. At least in a clan you have safety in numbers. As a loner, you're on your own. He stood and turned to face her, eyeing her. Hold that thought. He nipped a piece of the lavender. He stuck it in the fur by her ear. There. Now you're clean. He seemed proud of himself.
Her eyes narrowed as his paw got close, but ultimately she smiled and sighed. Thank you. I never got your name.
His tail flicked. Giving a loner his name was risky work, but she wasn't a threat. Fogmask.
That's weird, she blurted. I'm Dolly. She dipped her head slightly, chuckling to herself.
Now, that's weird, he returned. You said you were hungry. Do you not know how to hunt?
I do know how to hunt. It's just not wabbit season or something. She's referring to the picture show in her old two-legged place.
It's New Leaf. Rabbits are at their peak. He stared. Windclan cats are built for hunting rabbits. Have you tried catching something small like a mouse?
No. Her tail curled around her, fluffing up. She pouted.
He sighed. How long had this cat gone without eating? Her fluffy coat would do a good job at hiding any sign of malnourishment. I'll come back here at night and teach you how to hunt. Or try to.
Her eyes lit up. Really? Not like I need the lesson or anything, but it would be nice to be around someone, she chirped, her tail wagging like a kit.
Not like she needed it. Yes, but don't make a habit of this. I just want to make sure you don't starve. He rubbed against the lavender again to hide the scent of the barn. He sat down mid-meeting, panting. He glanced over, seeing Fogmask. Oh boy, Wildblaze will be on him in no time. He blinked. You're back, he mewed, before lowering his voice, his ears flushed. You're back. Why'd you take so long? And he glanced at Fogmask's paws, a frown growing on his face. Where's your prey? You want the honest answer? He huffed. I went to the Outlook Rock to look for a rabbit running along the moor, and it was warm. I fell asleep. I woke up, and as soon as I realized how low the sun was, I came back, which is why no prey. Must have been a nice rock, he muttered. You know I woke up early, he added. His grin returned, fluffing his fur out. If anything, the Tom seemed relieved. I was worried you got in trouble or something. Thanks StarClan, you're all right. Wildblaze gave him a soft look. Yeah, I'm good. He dipped his head. I might not sleep much tonight, but I'm good. Well, good. I don't want to have you fall into my nest anytime soon. Get some rest when you can. He chuckled awkwardly. His tail curled around his frame as he eyed Wildblaze. Good night, Wildblaze. Well, I'm off to my nest. Good night, Fogmask, he trilled, sharing an excited glance with Lobstertail before trotting away. He sighed, and now he was leaving camp. Again. Ready?
She shifted as his Tom approached. You actually came. I thought you'd bail, she chuckled.
His whiskers twitched in amusement. Him? Bail? Let's go. It's late enough. The Dusk Patrol should have returned. We shouldn't run into any cats, but if we do, act like I'm chasing you off.
Like you can, she scoffed. But, okay.
Acting like I haven't before, he hummed. You see the squirrel on that rock?
She crouched.
Squirrels are fast, but not like rabbits. When they don't have a tree to run to, they tend to just go in circles. Watch.
She shot up, her tail wagging again. Oh wow! Her eyes beam as a smile crossed her maw.
Did you ever play with toys? He hopped down. Like, kitty pet stuff. Fake mice?
I guess? She questioned herself. But I somewhat get the idea, she confirmed, nodding. Mostly to herself again.
He nodded. It's the same kind of hunting crouch. You just need to be careful not to stir up the leaves or brush against the grass. You also have to commit to your leap. Tell yourself you can do it, otherwise you'll never land right.
Okay. She looked around, scanning the big field. She pumped herself up. She crouched and leapt, tripping on her own tail. She fell. Ow!
He stifled a chuckle. Good try. He nosed her up. Like I said, you have to commit. Don't stay crouched for too long.
Her face grew warm as she got up. Meh. She pouted. She shook her face as she got another scent of prey. Without saying a word, she tried again. She leapt into the bushes, and she squeaks. Eee! I got it!
He purred, still carrying the squirrel. Not that hard, hmm? Now, let's go back before they send out dawn patrols.
Her smile faded a bit. Right. Her ears lowered a bit. Will you come back again?
He looked over the moor. If I go back now, I'll get caught by the border patrol. He scraped his paw along the ground. I'll walk you back.
Her smile grew back again. Okay, she spoke softly. She squeezed onto the mouse, her excitement still there. I don't want to eat it. I'm too proud.
He chuckled. It's gonna get gross, Dolly. Just remember this night is your first catch.
She glanced at him with soft eyes. Yummy mouse. She yawned, now tired from the prey. So, now what? She asked as she went up to the hay bale.
The hay felt odd beneath his paws. I'll need to wait at the dawn patrol and make up some excuse for being gone for so long.
Will you stay the night? Her eyes were having trouble being kept open. She curled, facing away from him.
He didn't answer, but kept his eyes on her.
Me. She was fast asleep.
He hopped down silently. He started to pick a few of the surrounding wildflowers. He started to weave the petals into her long fur as he once again groomed it. He continued to decorate her, placing a few scarce flowers on her head, too. He looked out. Perhaps it was earlier than he thought. Still no sun. Good night, my dollflower, he he hummed, padding off. He slipped down into the nests to avoid the guards. He blinked at Silent Stalk. He glanced at Fog. They stunk of something. He grimaced, sitting up. I like the flowers, okay? He pouted. He couldn't bear the smell, so he patted away. Fogmask? They tilted their head. I didn't see you at the commotion. Do you know what happened? He looked up. What? They stared at the warrior. An apprentice was hurt. It woke everyone up. A whole crowd gathered. You haven't been here at all, have you? He swallowed, his throat dry. No, I slept all day, so I stayed up hunting to make up for it. He blinked. All right, get some rest then. He turned to leave. Wildblaze got up, yawning as he awoke from a dreamless sleep. He blinked around, his eyes fixing on Fogmask. Ah, Fogmask, he whispered, shuffling over. Ah, hey. He was drowsy. How'd you sleep last night? Wildblaze asked, sitting up to run a paw over his face. Not well. I think I messed up my sleep with that stunt I pulled on the Outlook Rock. He, too, rubbed his face to rid it of sleep. Well, it's time for patrols, he murmured, offering him a smile. The Tom nudged him, padding forward. Let's go! He sighed as the rain battered his pelt. He shuffled as the warriors argued. Whatever this was about, he hadn't been here for it. He looked over at Lobstertail. Petty squabbles. Honestly, just noise. Wildblaze, do you want to grab some herbs? I've been a bit low lately. He looked at Lobstertail, then to Fogmask, then back to Lobstertail. Uh-huh, sure. Did you want to come along, Fogmask? He looked at the Tom. I don't think I'll be put on any other patrol, so sure. Amazing, he purred, turning to Lobstertail. What did you need? He just stared into Fogmask's soul for a second and just huffed. Right, I need you some docking time. I know where Doc is if you want me to take you there. Sure, lead the way. Sure, that's fine with me. His eyes narrowed slightly, yet kept his cool. He picked up some of the dock, seemingly still in a good mood despite the rain. The leaves felt weird in his mouth, and he was careful not to bite them. Ah yes, quite the spot. Oh, Wildblaze, there's some time over there. Could you fetch it for me? He dropped the leaves, nodding. Sure thing, I'll be right back. The Tom blinked at Fogmask before rushing off. Thank you. He smiled till he walked away, and faced Fogmask deadpan. He tensed up. You break that cat's feelings, I break you. Only warning I'm giving you. What? His eyes widened. What cat? Wildblaze? He piped. Who else? He tilted his head. Of course I mean Wildblaze. His eyes darted back and forth. I don't... Hey, I couldn't find the time, but... He looked between the two of them. Are you two okay? Oh, yes, we are fine. Just talking about some cool herb spots around. He cleared his throat, looking oddly at Wildblaze. He returned, looking back, first giving him a sweet smile. Then it began to drop a bit as he registered how Fogmask was looking at him. Right, yeah, he mumbled, worried. Thanks for your help, he purred, till facing Fogmask. We should head back. Taste of dock leaves can really linger if you crush it too much. Side-eye. Mm-hmm. Recall my words, bud. Busy den. Yeah. He wanted to say, I don't like him like that, but would that count as breaking his heart too? He blinked at Wildblaze curiously. Wildblaze looked up for a moment, searching for something in Fogmask's expression. He stiffened, but forced himself to approach. Thank you for, he gestured his paw, being there. I know I haven't exactly been present. Well, that's what you do when you care for someone, Wildblaze mewed, turning to look at his paws again. You know, Lobstertail told me some... I don't want to hear that right now. It's the last thing I want to hear from you. He cut them off. What? I'm not an idiot, Fogmask. I can see it in your eyes. I can see that you don't look at me the way I look at you. Tom looked up again. He wasn't angry, but his eyes were round with sadness. Wildblaze, I had no idea. His gaze softened. If I had known, I would have seen everything differently. He looked away. Would things have been different? Perhaps you wouldn't have looked at me at all. He mewed coldly, catching himself. I need time to process. I really thought you felt the same way. I really did. I didn't know I could. He glanced over. How could he have shared feelings if he didn't know there were any to be shared? He shook his head. If you ever would have, it would have happened by now. Listen, I need to go. I have a patrol to join, and I'll see you around. Okay. Wow. He sat next to the prey pile, staring at the ground. That was weird. He closed his eyes, getting comfortable. He had tilted his head. Maybe actually getting to know some of his clanmates better would benefit him. And maybe he could tell Fogmask they stink. Both are positives. He opened his eyes as he heard Pawstep approach. Oh, Silent Stalk. Silent Stalk waved the tail to Fogmask before flexing a claw out. He drew a small mouse and gestured outside of the camp. Hello. He shuffled his paws in the sand. You want to hunt? He nodded slightly. He looked at the sky. Alright. I will warn you, I haven't slept well recently, so I might be clumsy, he said with a chuckle. Silent waved his tail. He nodded. Nice! I swear I smelt rabbit over here. Silent lifted the wood mouse in his maw. He glanced over where Fog gestured to. He shrugged. Maybe it was the mouse? I wasn't wrong, he piped, proud. Silent let out a coo to Fogmask. The rabbit actually was kind of big. Back to camp? He purred. He'd nod. Silent parted his maw, letting out a yawn. His tail swayed. Good night. He'd purr. A good night, kinda. He plopped down into the nest, sinking into it instantly. His breathing quickened as he slowly woke up. It had been a moon since Dolly and his hunting session. They'd met occasionally, but never for more than a few moments. For as long as he was in camp, he couldn't possibly get in trouble. He missed her, though. He longed to smell her scent for more than just a few moments. He thought on it for a while. That's it. I'm gonna find her. He nodded to himself, almost to commit to it, as he patted away. His ears perked.
She sat up. Why, hello, you.
Dollflower. He dipped his head. I wanted to take you somewhere. Somewhere we can be together for a bit more than usual.
She hummed. I'd like that. She nuzzled her nose against his cheek.
He brushed against her and led the way. You haven't been this far into windclan, have you?
Mm-mm. She shook her head. Your clan seems intimidating, to say the least. She chuckled.
They can be, yeah. He glanced over. It's hard to live in this forest. It gets them a bit antsy.
She hummed as she laid her head on his shoulder. How have you been? She watched the water rush through.
He watched the water, too, looking at her reflection. The clan's been a bit on edge. There's been drama that I've just missed since I've been out and about, but I don't mind it.
She huffed. You know, I think I've gotten better at hunting since, I've never actually needed that lesson, she teased, trying to bring up the mood.
He snorted. Is that so? He tilted his head. Have you hunted fish yet? He stepped down near the water.
She followed.
He looked down intently at the water. He quickly swooped his paw, scooping the water up into her face.
She shut up, shaking her head. She laughed afterwards.
He stuck out his tongue, swiping his paw through the water again, once again to splash her.
She jumped back at the sudden splash of water. Hey!
He stood up, spinning on his heels and darting forward. He barreled into her, sending them both rolling, with him ending up on top.
She squeaked as she plumped on the floor. Be careful! Worried laced in her words.
He tilted his head, purring. You're not that fragile.
Well, not before. Her face got warm.
He stepped off. Did you get hurt?
She got up carefully, her face not being readable.
He picked up a paw, resting it on her cheek. What happened? Did something hurt you?
No, not that, she mustered out. Her words were frantic, her face now sheepish.
He blinked at her.
I'm expecting. Her purr is now audible, her smile bright.
What? He froze.
Her smile faded a bit. Did I not say it correctly? We're going to be parents, she chirped, slightly worried.
No, it's... He stood. It's great, He stammered. He was clearly feeling a lot of things. His eyes shone with excitement, but something deep in him seemed terrified.
She shuffled, now awkward. Did I do something wrong, Fogmask? She stood up, worried in her eyes.
No, he piped, walking over to her. He nuzzled her. No, of course not. Not now, not ever. He swallowed. I didn't think this would happen now.
Her body trembles a bit. She nuzzles her face into his pelt, tears slightly forming from the scare. Then what is it? She mumbled.
He sat and put his paw around her. I just wonder where they'll go. The kids. You shouldn't be alone with them, but the clan would never accept that I had kids with an outsider.
She sniffled. Oh, She didn't know what to say, but somehow it made her feel like it was her fault. You'll be around, right? You won't leave me like dirt?
Of course, he squeaked. I would never just leave you. It would take all 4 clans to keep me away from you. Kids wouldn't change that. He looked at her with wide eyes. He winced as the rain started. It was time to go.
Her eyes stared into his. She stood up, now unsure what to do. Right. You should go. I'll see you later. She gave a weak smile to him.
He lifted a paw as he stood. Hey, this is a good thing. I'm excited. For you and for us. He took a deep breath. I'll come by more often to make sure you're well.
She nodded. She pawed off the lavender from her ear and placed it onto him. I'll count on you then. She nuzzled her nose onto his.
He watched where she'd left for a while. A new warmth formed in his heart. Everything just changed. Everything. He laid down, trying to sleep, but the only thing in his mind was her. Fogmask woke. 2 days now since he'd been told the news. He slipped down, intent on finding Lobster Tail. Are you doing better? It's just been... Lobster Tail? He realized who was in the room. He gave a friendly nod to Wild Blaze. Ah! Fogmask, he grimaced. Yes? Wild Blaze looked over to Fogmask, his gaze empty. Excuse me, he murmured, patting out. I have a question. What is it? He huffed, eyeing the Tom up and down. For curiosity, what do you give a queen when they're expecting? He scratched his ear. Like, herbs and stuff. Poppy seeds, he said blankly, flicking his tail. Oh, I know this one! It's borage, she purred. He licked the ivy paw. Oddly, he trusted that answer more. Thanks. Alright, very good. See, just a test for them. You're welcome. Anyway, why do you ask? He nodded, looking at Lobster Tail weirdly before leaving. He looked around, not finding her in the usual spots. Dollflower? He hesitantly ventured into the barn. Dolly? Dolly! He prodded at her. Hey, are you okay? She looked terrible.
She winced as she trembled.
He pulled at her, trying to get her into the light. What's wrong?
Her face looked a lot more horrified than discomfort. She panicked as she spoke. I can't, I don't know. Her breath fast. She curled up.
He put a paw on her and felt her stomach stiff and painful. She looked deathly pale. He slipped under her, carrying her. He was careful, but only as much as he could be while still being fast. He nearly dropped her. Help, please, she's dying. Fogmask, who's... She stopped, seeing her condition. Fondly, Silent Stalk, support her. Silent looked, slack jaws at Fogmask and the loner. Whisper Echo blinked. Fogmask, what? His eyes widened. The loner? Who is this she? The tomcat braced her side against hers. Her name is Dolly. She's expecting. Something is wrong. Get her lobster tail. We can worry about why she's on our land later. He looked at the loner. They smelled odd. And that's why Starkland is a no. His first spite seeing the rush of cats, along with a she he'd never seen. Silent Stalk paused, looking to Lobster Tail. Her ears perked as she turned to see the den now full of cats. What? And what's going on? I'll tell the leader, he mewed, heading out. Her stomach, something's wrong. She's pale and she can't move. What in Starkland is happening? She says, noticing all these cats ran in here before turning to a whisper. Get her to a moss bed now. He didn't even hesitate. Silent still braced the loner on his side, looking between Fogmask and Lobster Tail for orders. He nodded. Silent Stalk stepped aside. He kept his distance. He knew he couldn't help, but he hated letting them take her away.
She curled as she yelled. Her breathing was now somewhat steady.
His ear winced, turning to Ivypaw. Ivypaw, get everyone out. I need room. She nodded, turning to face the cats. Every cat out, now, she yelled. He looked at Fogmask, giving them a sympathetic look. He couldn't relate to having a loner connection, but he pivoted, leaving swiftly. He gave her a look, staring with wet eyes. He realized all of their eyes were on him. She turned to Fogmask, her expression tightening as she narrowed her eyes. The yelling had her worried. Her gaze was fixed on the den, where she could barely see what was going on. Did Lobster Tail have this handled? Wildblade stared at him, dread staring in his gut. She simply said nothing, hoping that the piercing gaze of his clanmates were enough to rack him with unease. He sniffled and patted away. Maplestar yowled. As you were, all of you. Occupy yourselves with anything else, I beg of you. Maplestar approached the Grey Tom warily. Fogmask? Maplestar, he hesitated. Spare a moment of your time? She gave a warm look, which was rare of her. He swallowed. Yeah. The loner, the queen, she began. And her kits. Do they still happen to be yours? Maplestar tilted her head, unassuming. He thought for a moment. He had two options. No. I found her. She was trying to make it over the fence, but she couldn't. She was a ball of pain. I couldn't leave her. They narrowed their gaze, and it pierced through the Grey Tom, but nonetheless, she let out a sigh, and hesitantly nodded her head. I trust you're being fully honest with me. Yes? He frowned internally. Would she have accepted the other option? It was too late now. Yes. It was easier to believe the truth than to suspect a lie, so she granted a smile to Fogmask. Okay, thank you. That is all. He dipped his head. I'm just glad they helped her. I am as well. I'm not some heartless cat that would turn away a queen, she sighed. I didn't think as such. He glanced over to the den. She followed his gaze. Right then, let's show her hospitality, to her and the kids. The she-cat rose to her haunches without another word. Three healthy, she cut off, looking to Fogmask. Fogmask? He sighed, saying his name, still bitter with the taste of dock leaf, looking at him. With his lie, it would make sense for him to not act excited, but he was. That wasn't something he could hide. They're beautiful.
She looked up at Fogmask. I did it! She sounded tired, but relieved. I am so tired. She chuckled weakly.
Of course you thought they are. Kits are delicate little things. She did well. He looked at him, expecting a certain reaction. He lifted a paw, but he didn't move otherwise. He was afraid to hurt them. He stood and lay, curled around her. You did great. His nose was scrunched as he laid. All his questions were answered.
She looked up at the red tom. Her eyes lingered back to her kits. I don't know what to say. Her eyes falling on each one.
His gaze softened. It's alright. Don't thank me. They're yours. They'd all deserve a proper name, after all. If you thought of them, of course.
She looked to the kit closer to her tail. Makia. She looked over to the one in the middle. She looks like you. Twig will be her name. And then she paused for the last one. Olive. She looked back to Fogmasks, and then to the very red tom.
He looked to Lobstertail. Add Kit to the end of those. He chuckled nervously. Noted. His eyes narrowed. Well, I leave you with your kits. Oh, and Fogmask, you can stay too if you want. He huffed, a small hiss, walking out. What's a Makia? She whispered to her mentor. They're all named after flowers. He looked over. If Twig counts.
I don't think you remind me of a flower, you know, she hummed.
He snorted. You hold the beauty for the both of us, then.
Whatever. Her face grew warm. She laid her head on his shoulder.
Fogmask slowly woke up. It was hard for him to open his eyes with the warmth and comfort of her. He just wanted to stay sleeping. He slowly slipped out of the nest. I'll grab something to eat. You stay warm. All cats old enough to run the moor gather around the tall rock for a clan meeting. Mellowbear caterwauled, her voice laced with indignation. His tail twitched. Something has been brought to my attention. Something I'm sure will shock many of us. Mellowbear huffed, a grimace steadily making its way onto their face, though they tried to hide it. Silent Stalk wrinkled her nose. A familiar scent hit his nose. Fogmask was around, but they smelt slightly different. Though that's up for debate, since a certain cat among our ranks has been notably absent. For a while, it seems. It's obvious to anyone that's been keeping an open eye. He murped as the cat sat beside him. He looked at Silent Stalk, horrified. Fortunately, our loyal medicine cat, Lobstertail, has graced me with confirmation. Azalea glanced towards Fogmask as he approached. He wasn't sure how he felt about him, or what's come to light. Pontuff glanced down at Fogmask, keeping his composure, but he wasn't going to judge before things had been confirmed. Her voice ripped through the clearing, enough to startle, and her gaze pierced through a particular grey tom, forcing all eyes on him. Fogmask. Silent Stalk glanced over to Fogmask. Uh-oh, that couldn't be good news. Budblaze glared at Fogmask, his eyes fired with anger. He never would have imagined. He had one chance to tell the truth, and tell it straight. Mellowbear put it slowly. Are these kits yours or not? He paused. The cat peered over, gaze on the grey pelt. Kits? He sank his claws into the dirt. If it keeps you from hurting her... Yes, they're mine. They simply gave a hum in response, aloof and frigid like ice, a far cry from earlier. In their head, they called to Equistar and StarClan for guidance. You foxheart! He yowled, lashing his tail. Per the code, we will not send the loner away until the kits are old enough to be on their own. She has taken our resources, and in return, her kits will stay here. They will become warriors, provide for the clan, and never once know they have outsider blood. With her shadow looming over him, Maplestar's words were laced with finality and poise. He stared up at her with anger? He wasn't sure. It was some kind of negative emotion. As their clanmate's stares pierced through Fogmasks from all angles, they felt a rush in their chest. That tantalizing feeling of retribution. I wish you didn't have to be this way. May Star Clan show you mercy. Dismissed. Silent Stalk's jaw slacked a bit as he looked between Maplestar, Fogmask, and Launcher Tail. This is all happening really fast. It was rather confusing to say. Silent Stalk frowned, looking to Fogmask, but he had to follow the code. Blades rushed to Fogmask, getting up in his face, and just as any cat who watched expected him to lash out, shove him, do something. Instead, he muttered, "Your kids will never be welcome here, and neither will you. You're a stranger to your clanmates and to me. I hope you're happy." He just stared. He walked over to them with a hollow look. "I told you. You break them, I break you." He took a deep breath, pushing past any other cat who still had eyes on him. He placed down the rabbit. "I assume..."
She looked up at him, tears dry on her face. "So you're going to live here with everyone while I go out there alone, not being able to see the life I bring?" She kept her voice low.
He pushed the rabbit away. "Who said I was staying?"
Her composure broke. She started to cry. I'm so sorry. I thought you were going to stay. This is all my fault. I should have known what to do. I was..." Her words stumbled up into a sob.
No. He stepped over her and held her in like a cat hug thing. "No, he didn't really have words. It's you, Dolly. That's what I want. We'll sneak out tonight when the clan is asleep."
Her cries were muffled as she buried her face in his pelt. I love you," she muttered.
He let out a purr, nuzzling into her. The warmth pulled him back into his sleepy state. Always. The cool change in the air told him it was time to wake up. "Stay," he whispered, stepping over her. Lost her tail and Ivy Paw were asleep. Good. And so was the rest of the clan. "We're good to go."
She got up slowly, her body still weak. "Oh, okay."
"I'll take care of you," he promised. He leaned over and picked up Makia and Twig, shuffling awkwardly to dip both of their scruffs. "We should go to Two Lake Place. We can stay under one of the sheds. They have those, right?" He blinked. "They'll look for us at the barn."
Mm-hmm. I know that, at least, she purred. She stumbled a bit, but she still jumps gracefully, of course.
He looked back at Four Trees. Maybe the last time he'd see it, but it wasn't much of a loss, considering what he gained.
Wow, you got right on his face.
Yeah. I fucking body slammed.
Ready?
Alright, I'll just do this, and you go.
Oh, take that, loser.